So there are two major ways in which my work may be extended or related to COVID-19. Firstly is through tissue engineering, and the second way is through nanotechnology. So the first aspect, that is tissue engineering. In tissue engineering, very often we make use of in vitro cell culture models. These in vitro cell culture models are basically cell lines which we use in the lab to test, for example, for different drugs. So in terms of COVID-19, these in vitro cell culture models, in particular in vitro lung systems, may be used to test, for example, how the COVID-19 virus interacts with the lung cells. This can help us understand very important aspects of COVID-19, for example, how the COVID-19 is transmitted, or also why some people suffer from more severe symptoms of the disease. Now, the second way in which my work can be related to COVID-19 is through nanotechnology, more precisely through the development of nano drug delivery systems. So until now, there is no specific cure or treatment for COVID-19. However, a number of small molecules, RNA sequences, and antibodies have been identified and are being tested against COVID-19. The efficacy of these small molecule therapies may be enhanced or improved through the use of an appropriate delivery vehicle. The key is to specifically target tissues or organs in the body, as well as extend the release of these medications so that frequent administration is no longer necessary. COVID-19 has changed the world on a social, cultural, and economic scale. Right now, it is very hard to predict what the future will be like, but one thing is for sure, we will all have to get used to a new normal. Having said this, every cloud has a silver lining. So my hope is that we learn from the current COVID-19 pandemic. COVID-19 has exposed several weaknesses in our healthcare system. We need to address the current challenges and be ready for future threats, for example, by long-term investments in R&D. Another aspect which COVID-19 highlighted is the importance of the gender perspective in science. During the lockdown period, the productivity of females in academia dropped down significantly. For example, in the US alone, there has been a 23% drop in terms of the number of publications where females were first authors. The reason for this is very obvious, is because even today, women are still disproportionately responsible for childcare and household matters. So this is something which we need to look at and to consider in the future. A second gender-related aspect which COVID-19 brought forward is the fact that the virus is affecting more males than females. This is more likely because of the biological differences between males and females, and therefore highlights the importance of considering both males and females in any experimental setup. COVID-19 has changed the world in many ways, and it has made us realize that the only way to move forward is through international collaboration, but also through sharing of data. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, there was a reluctance in terms of data sharing among scientists. Right now, many research groups across the world are sharing their scientific findings even before the peer review process as preprints, for example. And not only are scientists collaborating with other scientists, but also journalists are working very closely with scientists to share scientific findings with the community. This is something which is very important, and I think that in doing so, the public at large is gaining more trust in science, and they are seeing the importance that science has in treating or in the society in general. And finally, I would like to say that COVID-19 is a global challenge and a global threat, which cannot be solved without global collaboration. So global collaboration, international collaboration, openness in science is crucial.